I'm extremely thankful to Sri DVR Garu, who is a close friend of mine and also is a mentor to my children. And when he asked me that I need to speak to the youngsters during this COVID time, and also a lot of issues they have, and we can discuss with them and try to show them what opportunity they have in this typical crisis time. So in fact, it is wonderful meeting all of you, because Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir used to tell us, always try to meet the future of the nation whenever there is a possibility. That's why I always keep going to schools and colleges to meet youngsters like you. When I meet you, I get energized. And I get a lot of confidence that the future is going to be in the safe hands. So it's a wonderful opportunity provided to me today by DVR Garu and also Mr. Venu for an opportunity to address all of you. Actually, we are in the COVID situation, an extraordinary situation, and no one has thought that a virus which is in microns is threatening the entire universe. Actually, the other day I did a calculation. What is the total weight of the people who have got affected with the COVID virus? It came to 250,000 tons. And I calculated what is the weight of the virus which affected them. It is 2 grams. So 2 grams of virus is now threatening 250,000 tons of us. You see what is our position. So it has made, this tiny virus has made all of us sit at home, and it is threatening us that you should not come out. And it has closed our mouths also in the form of masks. So this is the situation a virus has brought to all of us. Now we need to think why this has happened. Why this has happened? Whenever there is an ecological imbalance, and whenever we don't follow the norms of the nature, then such type of things happen. You analyze any disaster, that's all happened because of the human intervention and human thinking process, because he wants to have more and more. He wants to exploit more and more. So in the process, if you see how the COVID virus has started, somebody wanted to eat bats. Kapila. I mean, when you have so much of good food and everything is there available to you, somebody has a desire to eat bats. So from these bats, the coronavirus has entered into human beings. And now, because of the global village concept, 195 nations are now affected. So this is the situation. So we need to look into our thinking process. We need to look into how the things have gone to such a level. And it is not a guarantee that COVID-19 or coronavirus 2 is the ultimate thing and nothing is going to happen in the future to come. We can't guarantee this, because these type of disasters have started way back in 634 AD and they are continuing. The Spanish flu, the HIV, the SARS, Ebola, all these things have affected the human nature or human community, the entire community of the world. So in the days also it is going to come. Now this is the time we need to realize. And another positive thing that has happened is world has realized what is the importance of Indian traditions and Indian culture. That is one thing the world has realized. The way we greet each other through namaskar, the way we, before entering home, we have a tradition of washing our hands and feet, and this maintaining distances, and taking nutritious food, taking hot food, and also taking kashayams and other things. These are all our Indian traditions. Now the whole world is following us. They have realized the importance of India. That is one positive thing that has happened in the crisis. And also they have realized the potential of India also. If you see the race for the hydroxychloroquine tablets, the way all the developed nations have started requesting us, kindly send us the supply, kindly send us the supply. Even Brazil Prime Minister has gone to the extent of saying that Lakshmana has fainted here, kindly send Sanjeevani to us. I mean, this is the type of requests we got from Brazil Prime Minister also. Now this is an opportunity for India to show our strength. India, just as a nation, it cannot get this strength. The strength of the nation is derived from the strength of the citizens. The more strong we are, the more strong the nation will be. So an opportunity has come to all of us, because a demographic dividend is also there for us. If you see, about 60 to 65% of Indian population is youth like you. In another 3-4 years, it is going to be 75%. India is going to be the most youngest nation in the world vis-a-vis the other nations. If you see the number of deaths also in other countries, they are much more than India, because the first one is our immunity system. The second one is the youth population in our nation. So these are the two things which have put our tally comparatively low compared to other developed countries. So always in this crisis, there is an opportunity which we need to see. Now earlier, as you must have followed the Honorable Prime Minister yesterday, Shri Narendra Modi ji, he was telling, earlier we were never producing the PPEs and the N95 masks, but now we are producing 2 lakh PPEs and 2 lakh N95 masks every day. And now we are in a position to export them also. Now the potential has come. If you see, the DRDO is making these PPEs, masks. The Indian Railways, they are making. So many companies are making. I mean, the government sector, they are making. So this flexible manufacturing system is another thing which we have seen in this as an opportunity for all of us. Now, as you know, India is very number one almost in pharmaceutical industry and the drug industry. Now, the next 2-3 years, the entire investments in majority of the countries are going to be on health infrastructure and on the pharmaceuticals. Now there is a lot of opportunities for India to come up in this field. So that's why the vaccine also we are making a lot of efforts. Bharat Biotech, they are making the efforts. Serum Institute in Pune, they are making the efforts. So there is a lot of potential for the pharmaceutical and drug industry. So whoever is from that field, B Pharmacy, M Pharmacy, all those people, you have a wonderful opportunity, and also people who are doing nursing, who are doing paramedics courses, who are doing medicine, they have a lot of demand in the days to come. Now, the second thing is, IT is going to be, again, is going to rule. Now, today, because of this Zoom, I am able to speak to you. Where was Zoom last 1 or 2 years? Zoom has suddenly come. You know how much business they are making? They are making, I think, $7 billion business they are doing. A group of youngsters. See, the IT is going to rule again. Artificial intelligence is going to rule. Then your big data, then your machine learning, and the Internet of Things. All these things are going to be there in the days to come. So as youngsters, it is your duty to have skills in these sectors. So there is time available to you. There are a lot of websites which offer you free courses also. Coursera is one of the websites you can access to that. Lot of foreign universities and well-reputed universities are offering lot of courses. Maybe a 15-day course. Cybercrime is going to increase like anything. You know what is happening? Cyber criminals, what they are doing is they are entering into the hospital's administration system and they are asking ransom money. For what? They are actually stealing the files of the patients, and they are asking the hospital management to pay them ransom so that those medical files will be released. So this is the type of cybercrime that is going to happen. So you need to have the cyber experts also in the market. So there is going to be a lot of demand for the cyber experts in the days to come. So do courses in cyber, do courses in cyber technology or cyber crime. There is going to be a lot of demand. So actually, whenever there is a crisis, as a person, you need to find out what are the opportunities that are available to me. That's why Winston Churchill said, a pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, whereas an optimist always sees the opportunity in any difficulty. So it depends on us whether you are a pessimist or whether you are an optimist. So be an optimist. Be an optimist. Don't get discouraged. Always, Wherever there is an opportunity, there is a crisis, there is always an opportunity. I'll tell you a small story. You all know vacuum cleaners, because their vacuum cleaners are used to clean the houses and all. I was reading a story about a salesperson in Canada. If you go and see the climatic conditions in Canada, usually it is very cold in Canada. Most of the time there is a snowfall. Temperatures are below normal, below zero. So in these conditions, majority of the salespersons of these vacuum cleaners, they were all sitting at home and they were saying, because of these climatic conditions, we are not able to sell the vacuum cleaners. This is the usual standard reply being given by all the sales representatives. But this gentleman is selling 25 vacuum cleaners every month. The management got baffled. The management started asking him, all other people are sitting at home watching TV or playing games, but you are able to sell 25 vacuum cleaners every month. How it is? He says, I have seen an opportunity in a crisis. Because earlier, when the climate was good, what people used to do is, both husband and wife, they used to go out. Whenever I used to go and visit a home, one of them would be there. They see the demonstration and they will tell me that let my spouse come, I will discuss with them and then I will place the order. So this is how I could not sell the vacuum cleaners there more. But because of these climatic conditions, I find both the husband and wife at home. One visit of mine, I could convince them, and I always used to tell me, I am somebody living in your neighborhood. So I have a small demonstration. So by using this opportunity in a crisis, he became the biggest salesman in the entire company, because he has seen an opportunity in the crisis. Whereas other people, they always found a difficulty in an opportunity. So an optimistic person always sees an opportunity in anything. I mean, if you see or if you read Swami Vivekananda, he has written a beautiful words you all should know. What he says is, when I asked the God for strength, he gave me difficult situations to face. When I asked the God for brain, he gave me puzzles in life to solve. When I asked God for happiness, he showed me some unhappy people. When I asked God for wealth, he showed me how to work hard. When I asked God for favors, he showed me opportunities to work hard. Then, when I asked God for peace, he showed me how to help others. God gave me nothing I wanted. God gave me nothing I wanted. So when I asked God for favors, he showed me opportunities to work hard. When I asked God for peace, he showed me how to help others. God gave me nothing I wanted. He gave me everything I needed. This is what Swami Vivekananda says. So he has been asking God so many things, but he says, whatever I needed, God gave me. So always we have to depend on our strength. We always need to believe our strengths. We always need to work hard. And we always need to see people who are deprived of many things which we have. So if you have this type of attitude, this type of thinking process, then always you can excel and you can always see an opportunity in any crisis. So we need to do this type of understanding each other. And also, I have just listed out for you several people who had different adversities, who had different problems, but still they did very well. So let me tell you, somebody gets an adversity by birth. I mean, one of the examples I wanted to give is Shrikant Bolla. Shrikant Bolla is actually son of a poor farmer family. Actually, he is from Machilipatnam. Since childhood, he is visually impaired. He can't see. He is visually impaired. So, he secured admission in the science stream till 10th standard, but he wanted to join the 11th standard in science stream, but he had to go to court, and finally he got admission in the science stream. He wanted to join IIT, but again there was an objection. Actually, his hall ticket was not received by him, so he could not appear for the IIT examination. But he applied to MIT US, and there he got the admission in management, 5-year management course, and he successfully completes his management course there. So many people offered him jobs. But he said, I have to serve my nation. Despite of so many difficulties that the nation has offered him, but he said, I have to offer my services to the nation. And he came back here. He took 2 paper mills, 6 paper mills, and he revived them. And now he is the CEO of Volant Industries, Hyderabad, which has a turnover of 82 crores. This is what Srikanth Bolla is. So, he had a great adversities or a crisis when he, by birth itself, but he never bothered about it, because he saw whatever I wanted to do, I can do it. That's why he says the quality what you need to learn from Srikanth Bolla is fearlessness. You should not be afraid of things. I mean, nature will be cruel against you sometimes, or there may be some other factors, but always believe in yourself. Always be fearless. So fear is one thing which makes the human being to forget about his strengths. So be fearless, and all the strength you have, you can always use it. So actually they make disposable cups, plates, napkins, plates with using areca palm. So this is the industry what Srikanth is running. This is one case. Now, adversity by situation. This is another thing we need to know. Suppose suddenly in a situation, you enter into a crisis. In the situation, it becomes crisis for you. How you face the crisis, it depends on your individual capability. I give the example of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. When he visited South Africa, he went there as an advocate, as a barrister, as a lawyer. And he was traveling in a train in the first class by taking a regular ticket. But he was thrown out because of the color. They said that black people cannot travel in first class, and he was thrown out. So he was sitting in the waiting room. That's a crisis for him. He took a ticket and he was traveling. Suddenly he was thrown out, and then he started thinking. So thoughts started coming to his mind. So the following are his thoughts. Should I fight for my rights or go back to India? This is the first thought he got. Second thing is, should I go back to Pretoria without minding the insults and do my advocate job and finish the case and go back? So he decided, in that crisis, the decision what you take is very, very important. So he has decided that I will fight for my rights. So he successfully fought for not only his rights, for the people who have been suppressed because of the apartheid, and he became a hero there. Then with that experience, he came to India and he led the freedom movement. So you can always see a crisis. An optimist always sees an opportunity in a crisis, and he rose as a world leader. So a situation also can put you in a crisis, and how you handle the crisis, it depends on your individual capacity. Then, crisis because of the birth in an oppressed class. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, he was born in an oppressed class in those times. But he started thinking, yes, there is an adversity because of the situation in the society. Now what I need to do in order to overcome this adversity, what I need to do, he said, education is only the solution. He said education is the only solution, and he had unquenching thirst for books. He started reading books, and he started taking so much of interest in education. Finally, with the help of King of Baroda, he goes to US. He completes in the Columbia University. He completes, and then he goes to even London also, with the help of Raja of Kolhapur, Shahu Maharaj. And there, the amount of time he used to spend in libraries is phenomenal. Because he always said, there was an adversity for me because I have born in an oppressed community. So I need to overcome that. So only education can give me, or education only can equip me. So he finished, he did so many degrees, post-graduations and the doctorates, and he became the first law minister of our country, and he became the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India. See, uncompromising determination can bring great success. This is what you can learn from the story of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So there was a crisis, there was an adversity, but still he could overcome, and he showed his mettle to the entire world. Now, the another adversity or a crisis may come because of the illness. Suppose somebody may be very good, suddenly he becomes sick or ill, so his whole planning goes for a 6. But take the case of 2 examples. One is Helen Keller. Helen Keller is an American author. She was an American author, and she was a political activist also. She, when she was 19-month old, she became ill, contracted unknown illness, and she became deaf and blind. But she did not keep quiet. Despite these adversities, she fought, she wrote so many books, and she became a big icon in the history of USA. See, this is adversity because of the illness. Take the other case of Stephen Hawking. You must have seen him. He was quite good till his 20 year of age. At the age of 21, I think, he met with a illness, and he was confined to the wheelchair. But still, the amount of contribution he has made to the general relativity and also to the quantum gravity is phenomenal. He died recently in the year 2018. See, when we compare our adversities with the adversities of Helen Keller or Stephen Hawking, they are nothing. So, we always need to overcome these adversities, or overcome these difficulties, or overcome these crises, and you have to find an opportunity in each adversity or in each crisis. Now, there are other places, adversity because of geographical location. This is another adversity. If you think, you should know the history or the geography of Netherlands. That is called Holland. We call it Dutch also. Actually, if you read the geography of Holland, it is below the sea level. Most of the places in Holland, they are below sea level. A high tide in the sea gets all the salt water into Netherlands. So this is an adversity because of geographical location. But people of Netherlands, they took an opportunity in this adversity. They became the best designers for aqua systems or the irrigation systems. If in world, if any issue comes regarding irrigation, they consult Netherlands. So because they were facing an adverse situation, so that they converted into an opportunity. Now they have become the leaders in the irrigation systems. Same is the case with Israel. Israel also, you see, it's a desert. Water is not available, but now they are doing the best agriculture in the entire world. So again, a crisis. So all the people of Israel, they sat together and they decided they have made water an important asset for the country. Now, from the groundwater, from the seawater, they are converting. Recently, when the Prime Minister visited Israel, the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, he presented a vehicle to him. That vehicle converts seawater into fresh water. So that particular vehicle, he has given it in Kutch, Gujarat, for the border security people to convert this water into. See, a small nation like Israel, despite so many adversities, despite so many crises, they have come out and they are leading the world in many aspects. So it all depends on your mindset. What type of thinking process you have, what type of confidence you have, what type of determination you have, and what type of preparedness you have, what type of fearlessness you have developed during the period, that makes an individual. A group of such individuals makes the nation. So if in India, if youngsters like you develop these type of qualities, let any crisis come, we can always see the opportunity in it. Now, the another adversity I want to list out is climatic conditions. Sometimes adversity may come because of the climatic condition. I give you an example. You all know in the year 2008, Beijing hosted the Olympics. On the inaugural day of the Olympics, that is I think on 8th August 2008, there were clouds in the entire Beijing city. I mean, the weather forecast was that there was going to be a heavy downpour during the opening ceremony. So all the arrangements they have made, I mean, they were quite worried. So it's a crisis created because of the climatic situations. You know what they did? They used their technology and they saw to it that all these clouds are moved away from Beijing to the nearby villages. So the opening ceremony could go on very well. So an adversity created because of the climatic conditions also, because of the technological capabilities, they could overcome. So this is another thing. There may be an adversity because of technology also. Yesterday even the Prime Minister was also referring about a phenomenon called Y2K. In the year 2000, there was a big crisis in the entire world. What is going to happen to the computers? What is going to happen to the banking systems? Whether I can withdraw my money or not, whether my ATM is going to work or not. Because of the year 2000, the computers are going to recognize only 00. So the whole calculations, they were never forethought, they never had a foresight about this particular thing. So there was a crisis in the entire world. Who solved it? Indians solved it. Especially the youngsters like you, they have solved it. Graduates, BA, BCom, BSc, they all got trained in the computer programming and computer technology, and they gave solutions. That is how you see most of the people who have settled in US and all, they are the people who have taken the crisis of Y2K as an opportunity and they have generated employment there. So whenever there is a crisis, don't be afraid. Always look for an opportunity which is hidden in the crisis. If you are capable of recognizing this opportunity, then you have wonderful time so that you can show your skills and you can always do. Now, during the time of crisis, what I need to do, that is also you need to think about it. There are crises. There was crisis in many situations. Take the case of Ramayana. In Ramayana also, Rama was about to be incarnated and he was about to be made the king. But that night suddenly the total things change. He was asked to go to the forest. If you see Mahabharata also, same thing happened. The Pandavas had to go for 12 years of Aranyavasa and 1 year of Agnatavasa. When during Aranyavasa, it's a crisis for Pandavas. They were all kings and they were in the forest areas. But they did not keep quiet. They never cursed themselves. What they did is, they acquired additional skills. Bhima learned, he became a chef. He learned cooking. If you see Nakula and Sahadeva, they have learned working as sizes. Nakula worked as a size in the with the horses in the stables, and Sahadeva, he learned how to be in the cow shed and how to look after the cows. So these are the skills which they have acquired during the crisis, which became handy to them when they went for the Agnatavasa. They were supposed to be in the exile. Nobody should identify them. If somebody recognizes them, they have to again do the entire cycle again. So the additional skills what they have learned in the crisis have helped them to continue their this thing. So we are also in the crisis, as you always say. So pick up skills, pick up additional skills which are going to help you after the COVID. Otherwise, this 40 days, I think today is 50th day. Today is the 50th day. So in these 50 days, what did you do? So let us just work back what you did. I am also in the lockdown. So I have decided that 50 days or more than that, we have to be at home. What we need to do? So let us increase our skills. I am pursuing my PhD in rural development. So I am reading a lot of books on rural development. And I have left out, I could not read so many books. So this time I am using for reading books. And there are very good YouTube videos, good talks, and also good discussions. There is a lot of material information that is available. So that I am able to do now. So, and I have joined a course of this cybercrime in Coursera with IBM and Yale University in US. I am doing that course also. So we have the time and there is a crisis. So why not you make it as an opportunity? Simultaneously, my Join for Development Foundation, we are feeding these migrant laborers. Till date, we have fed about 120,000 migrant laborers with the food and other things. So this time of crisis, we need to find an opportunity and we need to do something. So adversities are going to be there. If you read the story of Japan also, read a book called Made in Japan. So it also talks about how Japan has rebooted itself, how it has come out after the crisis created by the Second World War. So these are some of the things which you need to know and which you need to study so that you get a lot of information. Now today, the financial package has been announced. Yesterday, the Prime Minister has announced the financial package of 20 lakh crores. Now today, the Finance Minister has announced in few areas, MSMEs and other things. Now MSMEs, they are giving so much of importance. Now think about, why not I can start a micro unit? Why can't I start a small unit? Why can't I start a medium unit? So these are the type of thinking the youngster should have. Majority of us, we always think that we need to have a cozy job because we always want to be in a comfort zone. So comfort zone is one thing which we always want to have. So as the youth is increasing in the country, you need to become an employer and not just an employee. So always keep thinking, how can I start my own unit? How can I give employment to 20 people? So go to the MSME website because there is a lot of opportunity now for the Indian companies. Yesterday you must have heard the Prime Minister, he is talking about local has to become vocal. From local we have to make the products global. That's what the Prime Minister said. So there is going to be a lot of demand for the local products. So go to the website and find out which are the items we are getting from abroad. Can we make it here? Can I start a small unit? 3-4 engineers come together, prepare a project report and go, because there is going to be a lot of demand. Lot of countries are moving out of China. They are finding a place to have their institutions or they are going to have their industries here. So we need to catch that opportunity, have those skills developed. Take up those skills, how these new things are going to come. And now, education is also going to be revolutionized. Now online classes are there. Online classes are there. Why not we have a class like this? Why not we develop a forum like Zoom? I think one of the engineers, young engineers I have read, he has developed a programming or a app like Zoom, and now he has submitted for final approval, it seems. He is also like you, like youngsters like you. Now agriculture is going to have a lot of scope in the future, because now, just tell me, are any one of Is anyone is thinking about buying a car? Is anyone thinking of going in a flight? Is anybody thinking of buying luxurious products? No. Everybody is thinking about food only. If I get food today, I am happy. So this is the type of attitude that has come during this crisis. So agriculture is going to have a lot of future. So let us think about how the value addition I can do in agriculture, how I can do food processing. So all these things, why not we think and start small units? Because there is an opportunity in this crisis. There is an opportunity in this crisis. People always think doing agriculture is not to my liking, or is not a dignified job. But now in the entire COVID, whom we have remembered? We have remembered the farmer. We depended on him, on his supplies. So let us strengthen the agriculture. Why don't we improve the status of agriculture? Who will do it? Youngsters like you can do it. Think about agriculture. How best you can do? What are the new processes? What is the new way of agriculture? How Israel is doing the agriculture? How in small countries like Vietnam and Taiwan, how they are doing this horticulture, this thing. In fact, we are running a FPO also, Farmer Producer Organization, in a place called Bapatla in near Guntur. There, 500 farmers, we have brought them together into a group called Farmer Producer Organization. Now, the farmers are doing extremely well. So, take interest in these things, agriculture, because in the days to come, the unemployment may increase. We can't say, because when this corona or COVID is going to end, we don't know. Unless the vaccine is created, the corona is going to be there. So, how we modify ourselves, how you change ourselves, that is a big target to us. So, consider agriculture also is one of the important fields, and you can always do that. Okay. So, in this way, if you start thinking, if you always look into an opportunity in a crisis, then we can definitely come out. So, skill development is very important. So, start learning new things, and don't spend your time don't waste your time. This is also very important. Now you are all eager to go out, but actually now you have realized how much time one day means. One day means you have so much of time. Now we are realizing in one day how much we can do. We are realizing now. Prepare a timetable. What all I need to do. What all I need to do. You can always say that once again. You can always say that what all I can do, and more days are going to come. How I can improve my quality, how I can improve my skill, that is also one of the things. And another important thing is what youngsters need to learn is, there are 4 trainings which we need to take. 4 trainings. The first thing is, I always say, train your body. Keeping your body fit is very important, because Sarira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. If you want to do anything, what you need to have is a sound body, and you need to have a fitness. Fitness is very important. So spend at least 30 to 45 minutes of time in training your body. So you can always say, sir, I can't go out, how can I do exercise? Because whenever we say something, always you come up with a justification or an explanation for that. No. You can do yoga, you can do physical exercises, you can do at this spot, you can run. There are so many things. If you want to do it, there are many ways of doing it. If you don't want to do it, there are also many ways of doing it. So choice is yours. So first one is train your body. The second one is train your mind. Training mind is very important, because left alone, the mind will go wherever it wants. The mind goes wherever it wants. It wants to do whatever it wants to do. So you have to keep it under control. So if you want to keep your mind under control, the only technique is to keep your breathing process under your control. Whoever keeps the breathing process in their control, they can keep the mind under their control. So how to keep the breathing process under control? By doing dhyana and pranayama. These are the 2 things which trains your mind. The third thing is, you have to train your word. How you speak is very important in these days. How you speak, because communication skills are very important. You may be very good, but if your communication skills are not good, you can't be recognized in the society. So communication, the way you speak, the way you present yourself, the way you express your thoughts, it makes a lot of difference. So there is an opportunity for you now to improve your communication skills. How communication skills can be improved? If I have knowledge, then my communication will be good. So if you want to gain knowledge, read as many books as possible. Read as many books as possible. You should be in a position to speak on any subject, at least for a half an hour, on different issues. This is possible when you read books. So there is a lot of time for you. Read the newspaper every day. Read the newspaper every day. There is a lot of information which comes in the newspaper. There are good newspaper, vernacular newspapers are there, English newspapers are there. So you need to do. So that improves your communication. The fourth one is train your thinking process. Training your thinking process. So always you need to have a positive thinking. That is very important for many of the people. They always do a negative thinking. So never be in a negative thinking mode. Always think positive. Whoever thinks positive, they can find opportunity in a crisis. You can ask me, sir, how can I develop my positive thinking? The positive thinking you can do by reading the biographies and autobiographies of great people. Biographies and autobiographies of great people gives you a lot of inspiration. Read a book on Chhatrapati Shivaji. How he attacked Mughals and how he learned so many things, how that fearlessness has come. You can read Sardar Patel, read My Experiments with the Truth, read the Discovery of India. There are so many books, biographies. Read Wings of Fire of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. It gives you a lot of, exposes you to various situations, how Abdul Kalam sir could become such a legend. So, he always used to say, always you need to have one page for you in the history. In the book, history book, one page needs to be allocated to you. For each individual, if they try, a page will be there in their name. So don't become part of the history, but become a page in the history. That's what he says. That you can do by thinking positively. So these are the four things which you need to practice. First one is training your body, training your mind, training your word, and training your thought process. If you do these four things, you see, you can find opportunity in any crisis. So you need to mend yourself. You need to equip yourself. You need to skill yourself if you want to see an opportunity in a crisis. We keep drinking green tea nowadays. We get these bags, dip bags. So if you put this dip bag in hot water, then only you get good tea. Suppose if you dip this tea bag in cold water, you can't get good tea. So that means in life also, learn to get into difficult situations. When you learn to get into difficult situations, then like good tea, you can also become a good individual. So by observing so many things around us, we learn so many things. Games also teach us a lot of things. If you play Kho-Kho, if you play Kabaddi, if you play chess, each game teaches you different skills and different understandings. It makes you understand the world in a better way. So always you see people who play games and who don't play games, there is a lot of difference in them. So after the COVID period, always play games, especially these field games, what you say as team games. So they introduce a lot of things in you, like how in a group you have to play and how interdependency will be there, how you can bear the loss and how you can enjoy the victory. All these things, they teach you a lot. So my advice to all of you is, you find time to play as many games as possible and also pick up as many skills as possible. And if you do all these things, because India is having a lot of hope on all of you. We are all having a lot of hope on all of you. that you will steer the nation and you will take the nation to very great heights, because there is always a possibility of building yourself. I just tell about Edmund Hillary and I complete. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, these people scaled Mount Everest. They were the first people to scale Mount Everest. It is not that it happened on a single day. They kept on trying. And on one occasion, they almost reached the peak. But just before reaching the peak of Everest, there was some bad weather and they had to come back. And they got so perturbed. And Edmund Hillary throws a challenge to Mount Everest. He says, "You are a rock. You can't grow. I am a human being. I can grow. One day I'll grow and I'll come and conquer you." This is the challenge he throws at Mount Everest. And in the very next attempt, he and Tenzing Norgay, they reach the peak. So always you have lot of scope for development. There is always lot of scope for you to improve your system, improve your value system, improve your thought process. That makes you stronger and stronger, so that you can face any situation. You can always find an opportunity in a crisis, and you can get a good name for yourself and also for the nation. So, with these words, I conclude my talk here. I always say, a pessimist always finds a difficulty in an opportunity, in a crisis, and an optimist always finds an opportunity in a crisis. So be an optimist, and in this crisis also find an opportunity. Try to improve yourself, try to improve your communication, try to improve your thought process, try to improve your knowledge, and try to understand the society and read about other society, read about economy and how all these things work. This is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to improve ourselves and to do the introspection also. You do a lot of introspection, what you have been doing, how time you are wasting, and how now you have realized the importance of time. And once the COVID, this thing is, lockdown is over, how you are going to steer the world and how you are going to find an opportunity in this crisis. So there is a big challenge for all of you, and you also have the potential and you have the strength to face this crisis. So thank you very much, DVR sir, for giving me this opportunity. And if there are any questions, Venu, I can answer and I can take the questions. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. DVR, sir.
Please see that the people who are raising their hands are unmuted.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful speech, sir.
Yes, Mr. Anand. Yeah.
My name is Anand. I am from Guntur district.
Yeah.
Sir, first of all, I am very thankful to you. Sir, my question is, everybody is wanting to success in their life. In your opinion, give me some suggestions. What are the best qualities to maintain the person to success in the life, sir?
So, what is success? That we need to define. What is success? That we need to define. I always say, you don't try to achieve success, try to become excellent. So, there is a difference between excellence and success. If you become excellent, success is going to follow you. So, you become excellent in your field. Suppose if you are an engineer, become the excellent engineer. If you are a farmer, become the excellent farmer. If you are a teacher, become the excellent teacher. So, you always strive towards excellence. When you are excellent, even there is only one post, that post will come to you, because you are going towards excellence. Success, what if you are after success, what happens is it puts a lot of pressure on you. But if you are pursuing excellence, it gives you a lot of joy in you. It gives you a lot of joy in you. If you are appearing for an examination, never think that you have to pass the examination. You always enjoy the knowledge that you are gaining. Always enjoy the knowledge which you are gaining. Ultimately, passing examination becomes one of the things. but always strive towards achieving excellence. And I always said, let there be a page in your name in the book of history. People who have achieved excellence in their lives have a page for them in the book of history. There are many people who have got 100 out of 100 in all the subjects and all, but their names are not there in the history book. People who have done service to the society and people who have achieved excellence in their field, they have their name in the book. There are so many teachers, but we find few teachers whose names are there in the book of history. Take the case of Jyotirao Phule, Savitribai Phule, Gijubai, whom you learned, Radhakrishnan, S. Radhakrishnan. On his name we have the Teachers' Day. So these are the people who have tried to become excellent. So we are all remembering them. So in your life, never talk about success, always think about excellence in your field. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Manoj Reddy.
Hello.
Yes.
Manoj Reddy.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, Hanumant Reddy. Good evening.
Sir, it was pleasure listening to you, sir. You have always been an inspiration.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
my first question is, like, what I feel is there is bigger problem waiting in the world, sir. Like the many viruses are developing resistance to the medicines which are existing in the world.
Yeah.
So, what do you think we can do to tackle that problem, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, the first question is, you said there are so many viruses that are waiting to attack.
No, sir. Like, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is
Yeah.
the existing viruses
Yeah.
are developing resistance to the medicines which we have developed till now.
Yes.
The success rate of the medicines which we have developed is getting down. So what the countries, like what the world or what as India we can do to tackle that problem?
Yeah.
Can we do something?
Yeah. The first one is stopping of this virus. Whenever there is something is happening, prevention. Always prevention is the best thing to happen. Now you see what are the origins of this virus. If you read the entire history of viruses, they have mostly come through these birds, maybe the swine flu type of thing, maybe now from other animals. So as I mentioned when I started my talk, I said there needs to be a fine balance between the human and the nature. So this exploitation of the nature is one thing which we need to stop. So the prevention is one thing. The second one is improving the medications. How to do the research in medication. The virology labs which you have across the nation or maybe in the international this thing also, you need to develop these things, vaccines and other things. You have to see what is going to happen in the years to come. You need to have that vision, as you are mentioning. In the years to come, there is going to be a problem. Now, the entire world has woken up. Now, the research, the amount of money that is going to spend on research is going to increase in the entire world. So, there is also again an opportunity for people like you who are in this field of research against the virus. These things we can always do. The other third is the improving your immunity. Third one is improving your immunity. Like if you see tuberculosis, this thing is always there. It is there in your body and it is there in my body also. They are within the body. The moment my or your immunity goes down, they come out. So improving the immunity. So for immunity, the thing is the food you take is very, very important. Now, but we are all eating these midnight biryanis. There are so many things that are coming. We are not eating the traditional food what we are supposed to do. We are switched over to our burgers and pizzas and all, which do not give you any strength. I mean, if I see youngsters also, they are also getting a lot of medical problems. And also our sleep cycle is also very important. Most of the time I see youngsters remaining awake till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, getting up at 10 o'clock. The whole cycle, the biological cycle or the cycle, human cycle is getting affected. So we have to, this COVID is a big lesson for all of us. So go back to basics, stick up to your traditions and stick up to your immunity system. So this is how you can improve. So prevention, then doing R&D, and then is improving your immunity. These are the three things I think which we need to think about it. Yeah, yes. Second question, Hanumant Reddy.
So one more question, sir. Like
Yeah.
during the corona crisis,
Yeah.
the pollution has come down a lot in the world and India, sir.
Yes.
So using this situation as an opportunity, as you told in your lecture,
Yeah.
so can we come up with a definite framework for our country or all the world, which would not increase the pollution to the same level which was earlier before the lockdown?
100%. Because in the lockdown now you have to realize why we are unnecessarily taking up so many journeys outside.
Yes, sir.
Unnecessarily we take out our bike and we go out. I mean, now if you see, all the animals are coming out. If you see most of the places, if you see the Sri Salem ghats, the deers are there, the tigers are there, the leopards are there. They are all moving freely and we are all stuck in the houses. So the nature is coming out and it is making us sit inside. So it's an opportunity for us to see how the environment has to be protected. Now the youngsters have to take the lead. Now you should always reduce the vehicular pollution, and also you should regulate our movements, and only if there is necessity then only we need to go. Otherwise people will be just hanging on the roads without any work. Now we have realized how much of knowledge you can learn, you can gain when you sit at home and read. So there is a good opportunity and there is a great opportunity and there is a responsibility on us also to see that this pollution is under control. If you see Ganga and other rivers also, they have become very clean. And if you go outside also, you get the fresh air now. Now, it should not get over with the COVID. So you need to take steps. So let's all come and let us plant saplings. Let us do something and let us pull up cars and let there be a better public transport system so that individual vehicles you need not have to use. So all these realizations have to come, and whatever learnings we are doing during the COVID, you need to take them along. So form a small group and let us all work for the conservation of the environment and the protection of the environment. We need to do, because ultimately we need to take an action. Of course, the government also. Put together, we all as a society, we need to respond. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Shashipreetam.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yes, Shashi. Yeah.
Sir, in life, if you would like to be excellence or to achieve the success, I believe in consistency, sir. How to improve it and how to maintain the consistency, sir. Consistency.
Maintaining of consistency. Yeah. Consistency is very important. Consistency means the stand you take. You don't waver. Suppose if you are taking a particular stand, if suppose some 10 people come and influence you, you are going to take another stand altogether. So that makes you inconsistent. So that will not make you a person to stand in the society. So they say this man takes the stand as per the pressure, or he is inconsistent in his this thing. So that you can get by having a strong attitude in yourself, by developing strong qualities and with a attitude to face the situations, face the reality of the situation. So if you have the guts, you have to that's why I gave the example of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So despite the adversity, he stood up.
Yes, sir.
He said, I will fight the crisis. I'll fight the adversity and I'll always take the right side. So as an individual, you always think, I always take the stand, a right stand. Whatever may be the pressure on me, but I always take the right stand. That makes you, it becomes an habit. It becomes an habit. So after certain days, it becomes an habit and you become a consistent person. So initially you may have to put some efforts. In the days to come, once it becomes a habit, so it becomes your nature. It becomes your nature. So consistency is doing the thing in the same manner many times. That is what is. Science also is the same thing. Now science means it gives the same results. If you put H2O on water, it always gives H2O, water, H2 and O, it gives H2O. Like this, any situation, you are going to be the same. That makes you consistent. So have the guts and have the guts to face the situation. There may be a difficulty, but once you overcome the difficulty because of your consistency, the amount of enjoyment you are going to have, the amount of joy you are going to have, the amount of satisfaction you are going to have is phenomenal, and you will have considerable influence on the society also. People who have influence on the society are the people who are consistent in their behavior. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
One last question, sir, please, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sir,
Shashi.
I have met you 2
Allow
years
to
before.
others also.
Sir,
Thank you.
Sir.
Yes, where did we
Anirudh.
meet? Yeah.
Anirudh.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
from
Good
ninth
evening.
grade.
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, I'm Anirudh, a boy studying in 9th class.
Oh,
I
very
came
nice.
by my mother who attends your class. Sir, I always play mobile games, sir.
Okay.
My goal is to become a doctor. So can you
Yeah.
give me so that I can concentrate on my studies?
So you like mobile games?
Yes, sir.
You like mobile games. Slowly you try to reduce the time you are spending on the mobile games, because you have a bigger goal. You want to become a doctor. See now, doctors, how are they respected now?
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
the doctors, when they go out from their hospital, people are standing in a queue and they are offering them flowers and they are treating them like gods. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Britain, UK, he said, always I used to think about God, but now God for me is doctor, because he was in ICU for some time and he came out. Now he is telling God for me is the doctor. So you have a chance to become a doctor. You have to be a chance to become a god. You want to become a god, or you want to lose your sight and you want to get admitted in hospital by playing these mobile games. So yes.
Become a god.
So, yes, you want to become a god. So you have a goal. What you do is you put in your home small on piece of paper, I want to become an excellent doctor. Like that you type it out and put in your entire house. Okay? Maybe in your reading room, maybe on your TV, on your mobile phone also you paste one thing. The moment you open up the mobile, it says, I want to become an excellent doctor. So automatically it makes you to close this mobile phone. Okay? And don't be this thing pressurized by your peer group. Most of your friends also must be playing these games. They all must be asking you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So you tell them, I want to become an excellent doctor. Today I am deciding I am not touching my mobile phone. You have so much of determination. You have a goal. You are just in 9th standard. You have so much of determination. You can always overcome. You can always overcome. I want to see you as the excellent doctor. Okay? Anirudh.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye. All the best.
Nanavath.
Hello. Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yes.
సార్ నమస్కారం సార్. సార్ చిన్న డౌట్ సార్ నాకు. ఇప్పుడు యూకే మరియు అమెరికా లాంటి వెల్ అడ్వాన్స్ టెక్నాలజీలో వెల్ అడ్వాన్స్ ఉన్న కంట్రీస్ హెల్త్ కెపాసిటీ మన కంట్రీ కన్నా దే ఆర్ వెల్ అడ్వాన్స్డ్. అలాంటప్పుడు అంత క్లీన్ అండ్ హైజీన్ మెయింటైన్ చేసే కంట్రీస్ కి ఇలాంటి 2 grams వెయిట్ ఉన్న ఒక వైరస్ ఎఫెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు దెర్ ఈస్ నో పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ గెట్టింగ్ అడ్వాన్స్ టెక్నాలజీ. అంటే ఒక 2 gram ఒక వైరస్ ని అరికెట్టలేనప్పుడు డెవలప్మెంట్ అనేది పెద్ద పాయింట్ కాదు కదా సార్. బై లాగింగ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ట్రెడిషన్ అండ్ కల్చర్. సో దీన్ని
మనిషి ఆల్వేస్ ఏంటంటే సుఖంగా ఉండాలనుకుంటాడు. సుఖానికి అలవాటు పడతాడు మనిషి. ఈ టెక్నాలజీ ఏంటంటే మిమ్మల్ని సుఖంగా ఉంటుంది. ఇంతకు ముందు టీవీస్ లో రిమోట్ ఉండేది కాదు. మేము ప్రతిసారి వెళ్ళి ఛానల్ క్లియర్ చేసుకుని వచ్చేవాడు, నడిచేవాడు. ఇప్పుడు ఏమన్నది మీకు రిమోట్ వచ్చింది. సో దిస్ టెక్నాలజీ ఈస్ హెల్పింగ్ యూ టు ఎంజాయ్ యువర్ లైఫ్, మేకింగ్ ది లైఫ్ మోర్ దిస్ థింగ్. దానివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే మన లైఫ్ స్టైల్ ఈస్ చేంజింగ్. ఎప్పుడైతే లైఫ్ స్టైల్ చేంజ్ ఉందో యూఆర్ గెటింగ్ ఆల్ లైఫ్ స్టైల్ డిసీజెస్. For example, maximum these things, diabetes we have in our country, maybe because of the food habits. Blood pressure is more in our country. Pollution is more in our country. Suppose if you talk about the developed countries, మీరు అన్నట్టు UK గానీ USA గానీ, వాళ్ళు డెవలప్డ్ కంట్రీస్ ఏంటంటే దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ టెక్నాలజీ. ఈ టెక్నాలజికల్ బ్రెయిన్స్ అన్ని కూడా మన దగ్గర నుంచే వెళ్తున్నాయి. సో దే వాంట్ టు మేక్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ కంఫర్టబుల్. They want to make their lives comfortable, and they are not bothered about the nature also. Now nature has taught them a lot. If you over exploit the nature is going to hit back. Now they are also learning a lot of things. It is not just technology, but it is your habits and your practices, and it is your food habits which is going to decide your future. Slowly everybody is looking towards India.
Yes.
How many countries are practicing yoga now? Because they have realized the importance of yoga. So we have taught them the yoga. So everybody is coming towards India. So that means technology is not that important. It is the way you live, the way you behave in a society. These are all very important. Because they don't have friends, they don't have family. They are all learning the family system from our country. So they also want to change their lifestyles also. So it is not technology that is very important. It is how, as a social being, how as an individual you are behaving in the society. That is very important. So I think we all should behave well in the society, and we have to make a well-meaning society and a society that is useful, that is helpful to each other. Yeah.
I think, sir, okay question, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Current,
Thank you.
sir,
Nanavath. Ashok.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, sir. It's been since my childhood. It's a dream come true now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us meet also after this COVID. We'll meet. Now we are meeting on an electronic platform. Yeah.
Yeah, I am following like anything, sir. Wherever you go, I follow like your videos, Ramakrishna Mart, and all those.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sir. My question is, so many of us know that how one person becomes successful in their career, but if you see modern days, we are just like a applicators, not like a we are just a appreciator. We appreciate others, but we don't applicate those things in our life.
Yeah.
If you say, if someone should be become successful in their career, they should have a burning desire. Having so many distractions like online, social media around us, how can one person get the burning desire, and how can he successful in their life? Can you tell me some practical or realistic examples, sir?
Definitely. So you are talking about the lot of distractions that is making you not concentrate. Many of the people, they cannot concentrate.
Yeah.
So these distractions are one thing. That's why I said mind. Controlling your mind is very important. So the controlling of mind, what I said is the practice of dhyana and pranayama. These are very important things to keep your mind under control. If you keep your mind under control, then these distractions will not affect you. You will have sufficient time to concentrate, and you need not be just an appreciator. You will be the main person, and people will be appreciating your efforts. So, as in Bhagavad Gita it is said, you have to improve yourself. There is nobody who is going to come from outside and going to improve you. It is how you improve yourself. So the whole responsibility is on your shoulders. And also successful person. What is the definition of successful person? I will tell you. A person who has cleared civil services and he got a good job and he takes bribe in his office.
Okay.
He is a corrupt person. He is a corrupt person. There is another person who lives with the means what he gets and he lives a very happy life. Whom do you say is a successful person?
Second person, sir.
Second person. Obviously, because he is sticking up to his values and he is very happy. The first person, being corrupt, he will not get sleep. He will be addicted to so many things. He will be taking so many tablets and other things. His health will not be good. So, success is a relative term. Success is a relative term. I mean, if I am happy with whatever I have just a roti and some sabji and I am happy. That is happy. Somebody is having biryani and other things, but his digestion system is not good and he is suffering and he is going to hospitals. So he is not a successful person. So keeping the desires in your control and being happy with what you have. You take the case of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. After his death, people, when they vacated his this thing, there were only some 5-6 suits and some documents, and there were about 2,500 to 3,000 books. This is the property of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So that talks about, speaks about this person, what it is. So somebody else may be having so many bungalows, so many cars and other things, but people will not remember him, and even if relatives also after his death, they will not remember. Maybe 11th day or 12th day they remember. That's all. They will be fighting for his property. But whereas you see, this man has become a legend. He has created a page for himself in the history. It is simple living and being satisfied with what you have and keeping the mind under your control, and don't be after these unnecessary these things, competitions with other people. I mean, there is a rat race that is going on in the society. A rat race. Don't get into this. And
sir, for civil servants, like civil aspirants, especially like someone like me who is preparing for civils, what is the best practices which definitely help them to, take them towards the goal very sooner? Do you share some best practices, sir?
Best practices is start liking people.
Okay.
Start liking people, keep meeting people, understand them.
Okay.
Maybe a small person working in a hotel, in a restaurant, spend some time with him, understand his life. What as a civil servant you can contribute for his betterment.
Okay.
Keep meeting people, develop liking for people, not for this authority what the chair gives you, but the power which gives you so that you can improve the lifestyle of the people. Still, so after so many years, after so many civil servants, still there is a lot of poverty. Still there is so much of problem. You have seen the migrant workers going away without food and all. So still what we are doing, because basically civil servant should like people and you should try to make some difference in their lives. So have that concern for the people. Then automatically things will come. That desire will come in you. This man is living in a poverty. As a civil servant, I want to improve his life. That gives you a lot of push in you. That gives you the burning desire to become a civil servant and improve the life of those people. Yeah.
Okay.
Jaydeep,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashok.
Thank you.
Jaydeep,
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, nice to speak to you, sir. You have a lot of impact on my life. Your words means a lot to us. Sir, my question is, though we have a lot of zest to achieve a dream, we tend to get disheartened sometimes. We get low sometimes. I heard you saying in some of your sessions that you prepared by yourself when you were in NIT with a group of your friends.
Yes.
And can you tell me something that always kept your spirits high and that always inspired you, some one or two things that can keep our spirits high?
Enjoy every moment of your life. This is very important. Suppose if you are having dinner, put your 100% in eating. Then that moment you can enjoy. You are reading a book. Don't bother about other things. Put your 100% in reading. The amount of joy you get, the amount of enjoyment you get is phenomenal. So what we are doing nowadays is that we are doing one thing and our mind will be going here and there. That's why you can't enjoy this also and you can't achieve the other things also. So this segregation and compartmentalization and putting your 100% whatever you are doing is very, very important if you want to enjoy. Because ultimately the purpose of life is to be happy. Yes. Happiness is the ultimate thing in life. Anando Brahma. So while happiness is God finally. So you be happy, that happiness will come if you put your 100% anything. And the other thing what you are talking about is how we prepared and other things. Yes. So it was taken like a mission and we started enjoying. Suppose stress will come in you when you don't enjoy. If you do things, suppose while watching a movie, I have not seen somebody getting stressed by watching a movie because they are totally involved in it.
Yes, sir.
So in the same way, if you are reading a book and people get stressed because by force they are reading, not out of their interest. So develop interest in whatever you want. And there is a formula which says that if you want to achieve anything in life, you need to spend 10,000 hours on it. 10,000 hour formula. Now, on this day, you have decided you have to scale Mount Everest. If you practice for 10,000 hours, you will scale Mount Everest. So anything in your life, if you want to achieve, put 10,000 hours on that. So you break it into how many hours you have to spend in a day, and at the same time, enjoy what you are doing.
Sure.
whatever you want, you can achieve in your life. Sky is the limit.
Thank you so much, sir. I need your blessings, sir.
Yeah, thank you. My blessings are always there. Yeah.
Thank you, Jayadipya. The next one is Mohan Sai.
Hello.
Yes, Mohan. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good to speak to you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, as a person having dilemma to pick between entrepreneurship and bureaucracy, what are the personal traits that I have to look out for to come up with a decision? I have like in this time we are having this dilemma a lot. So what are the personal traits to look out for?
I mean, both the professions are ultimately you are going to help the society. Whereas an entrepreneur, you are going to give jobs to so many and make so many people's lives happy. As a civil servant also, you can make the lives of the people happy. I mean, both are ultimately your goal is to see that the society is happy because of you.
Yes.
So that contribution factor of it. And now, civil services, the chance of getting into civil services, I mean, civil services is not a very tough examination. Only thing is you need to prepare well for it and you have to have this thing that is there. And entrepreneurship is another sense of achievement. You can have a lot of new things that you can always think about it. You can always have your research and development mindset which you have. You can always invent a new thing. Now you see Shanta Biotics. I'll tell you, you read the story of Dr. Varaprasad Reddy garu. So they are the people who are having so much of name in the society because they have contributed. He was an entrepreneur. He started Shanta Biotics. Then he picked up a fight because some permissions were not given for him to make these vaccines for HIV. He took it as a challenge and now he produced the cheapest vaccines and medicines for HIV in the entire world. Now he is Padma Vibhushan, Varaprasad Reddy. So read the stories of such type of people. Civil services is what it's like any another job.
Sir, in contemporary times, which one would you prefer? Like, which one has a better chance?
You know, always you decide. Ultimately, you have to make a choice of. You have to take a call. You have to take a call. And yes, once you have taken a decision, stick up to that and do your best. No question of wavering here and there. Once you have decided that you have to pick up this and you have to do this, pick it up and do it. Then always you will be excellent and the success is bound to follow you. There is always an opportunity. Hard work, people who do hard work, definitely they will achieve whatever they want in their lives. So you take a call on that. You ask your inner self and take a call. Yeah.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, Mohan Sai. And Maulika. Maulika. Okay, the next one. Jashwant.
Hello.
Yes, Jashwant. Yeah.
It's meeting you.
Yes. Tell me.
I never thought that I would ask this question, but lately in the country there is resemblance of conflict between being rational and being national. So
Pardon? Conflict between?
Being rational and being national.
Okay.
Rational and national.
So how to strike the balance and address this dilemma?
Yeah, you can always, you have to be a rational human being and at the same time you have to be a national also. You have to be rational, there is no doubt about it. Yeah, and I mean, national is ultimate the requirement. You have to be the citizen of this nation and the nation is giving so much to you, you should contribute for the nation. At the same time, you should not be driven away by the forces which makes you irrational.
Yes, but there is resemblance of conflict nowadays. So
conflict is there between, that is how the society transforms. The transformation of the society is like that and only youngsters like you can make the change. Only youngsters like you can make the change. So always, what Dr. Kalam says is always, the people around you will make you to be a normal person. They won't allow you to become an extraordinary person. So he always say each one of us has a potential to become extraordinary, and each one of us have the potential to do something for the nation. But the society around you tries to pull you in its fold. So it is your inner zeal, your inner enthusiasm, and your value system what you have, and also your traits which make you to go to the other side. So these extraordinary people can influence the society. So try to be in that group. Try to be in that group. Life is tough. Life is tough. There is no doubt about it. If the life is not tough, then there is no enjoyment in the life also. If the life is normal, everything happens as per your wish also, there is no thrill in the life. Always you should have challenges. Whenever you overcome the challenges, you have the feeling of achievement.
Yes.
That is also required in life.
Yes.
Otherwise,
that is most required thing.
Yeah, that is the most required.
It can be entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So always be rational and be national and be an extraordinary person who can influence the society. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So this is the end for the session with V.V. Lakshminarayan sir. I think that is very nice and most powerful speech which I heard from the past. That is very thankful to them. And thanks to Anandal who participated in the meeting motivational speech. So the conference is concluded. If anything is there, just call on us on the screen numbers. Thank you. This thing is closed.